Sunshine Daily.
Come along with me to Disneyland as I show you all kinds of rides and attractions from 2025. Maybe you just got back from a Disneyland trip and you want to reminisce. Maybe you haven't been yet and you want to check out what Disneyland has to offer. Or maybe you're a veteran who knows all these rides and wants to see my footage. Or maybe you just enjoy, like me, spending time at Disneyland and it makes you feel that magic to see everything that you've experienced as well. So come along with me. I'm going to show you all 32 attractions that are offered at Disneyland, and I will explain the height requirements of each and every single one. I will give you line tips and tricks, and I will give you all kinds of information that maybe you know or you don't know. So come along with me to every single land: Frontierland, Adventureland, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, Galaxy's Edge, Bayou Country, Toontown, and all 32 attractions we will cover.
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe.
We're going to start a guided tour in Toontown. This is Disneyland's most north part of the park. So very far north, this is where you're going to go, Toontown. We're going to start at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. This opened in 2023 and is highly popular. There's going to be a standby line on the right, and the fast pass will be on the left. If you do go by the standby, this was taken right when the park opened. So we're talking about 8 o'clock in the morning, and there was no wait. The queue is very cute, lots of things to see. So if you are in a long queue or wait time, it is air conditioned and there's a lot to see. What's great about Runaway Railway is the very large seats. So if you have a party with a lot of people in it, you will most likely be able to sit together. I believe even 8 or 10 people can go all together. If you are a single rider, just be aware I was sat with another group because there's so many people that can fit in one row. So if you're not bothered by that, just be aware that that can happen. Here it is. Here's the ride, and you can see the seats. They are all joined together in a people mover fashion, and then they will separate in what's called a trackless system as the ride continues. It's a cute ride, one of my favorites. I highly suggest you check it out.
Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, excellent. You're all waltzing so beautifully together. Now, let's...
Directly next to Runaway is Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, or we locals like to call it Roger Rabbit's. This ride does spin, and you can make it spin faster, just like in the teacup ride. So if you don't like spinning, you can actually hold the wheel tight and it will go against the spinning motion if you get motion sickness. It is dark ride and it can be quite noisy with flashing lights, so be aware that that might be a concern if you have small children that don't like scary rides. Go ahead and enjoy Roger Rabbit's. No height requirement on this ride.
Danger! Danger! Warning! Warning! Danger! Danger! Warning!
The third ride in Toontown is Chip 'n Dale's Gadget Coaster, or we like to call it Gadgets. This is an excellent first roller coaster for little kids. The ones that want to try their first roller coaster but are too nervous to go on those big grown-up roller coasters. It is a 30-second ride. I highly suggest you get to the park early for this because the wait time can get up to 25 to 30 minutes. And it is, again, only one coaster and 30-second ride. So you will be waiting for these exact same guests to get off, and only 2 people can fit together. There is a height requirement of 35 inches. We are moving to Galaxy's Edge for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, or as locals like to call it, Rise. Standby is on the right, and single pay per time lightning lane is on the left. So if you don't want to wait in a long line, you can pay. It's usually between $20 and $25 per person to go on Rise. Most people prefer the standby line. Here are my tips. Do not rope drop this. It's a waste of time. It's either broken down or it eats up your entire golden hour of that rope drop time for an hour to 2 hours for this ride. Go between 9 and 10 a.m. Or you could do what I did and wait till the wait time on the tip board says 120 minutes or more. And then when you see it drops really quickly to 40 minutes, then go for it and you'll have a really short wait. There is a height requirement for this ride, which is 40 inches, and there is a reason for that, which I will not give you a spoiler alert that happens near the end of the ride. Enjoy the ride. Rise.
Take those turbo lifts and stay out of trouble.
What the?
Hey, get out of the ride.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh god! Okay.
Your cover is blown. Find an alternate route. Who picked these two droids anyway?
Next up, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. We like to call it Smugglers. There is a height requirement of 38 inches. It is a very interactive ride. Be expected to do work on this ride to keep the ship alive.
Now, after my modest profit, your cut minus what you own without damaging the Falcon is... Oh, that was rough.
We didn't do so good. Oh, let's go.
Oh, wait, my friends. I'm afraid we have picked up a hitchhiker. Enfin, scan the exterior of the Falcon for light bulbs. You see this hub?
We are now moving to Fantasyland, and we're going to go on It's a Small World, a Disneyland classic. This is such a great ride for the entire family. It's a very slow 20-minute boat ride, most of which happens indoors in air conditioning. There's no height requirement, and the boat is very large that can fit about 3 adults in each row, maybe up to 15 people. If you're in one party, you will be in the same boat. There is no drops in this ride, and it gets dressed up for the holiday season. So if you're going during the holiday season, expect a longer wait and to maybe use the Fast Pass, which it does have a Fast Pass for this ride. If it's not the holiday season, you don't need a Fast Pass because it is not as popular. Enjoy It's a Small World. This is again the holiday season scene. Next up in Fantasyland is Storybook Land Canal Boats, or we like to call it Storybook. This is going to be a smaller boat ride that has a captain that's going to be talking about different mini lands that are set up over this cute little scene that happens along with Casey Jr., which is a little kid railroad. You first start by going inside the whale's mouth, and you can actually ask for your kids to sit on the front of the boat that not a lot of people know you can ask for. They're called whale watchers. There is no height requirement. This one does have a bit of a wait, and there's no fast pass. So if you're interested in a smaller boat ride with your family, I would get to this one fairly early in the morning. If you see the entire queue full of people, that's about a 25-minute wait. Sometimes you can get lucky, and if you see multiple boats running at the same time, you know that the wait will be shorter. So check that there's more than a few boats running and you can see them as they pass by. Directly next to Storybook is Dumbo the Flying Elephant, or Dumbo. There is no height requirement, which makes this a Disney classic. There is no fast pass, so a lot of people will try to do the Fantasyland rides with their kids or family earlier in the day because these lines do fill up just like Storybook. You can manually move Dumbo up and down, and it's very easy for kids to reach. They love it. I suggest you try to go on it at night because you can see everything lit up. It's super magical. What you saw pass by was, of course, Casey Jr. Circus Train, or Casey Jr. There's no height requirement for this train. You can choose to sit outside or inside the cages. There's even a spot for 2 people in the very back to be back-facing or backward-facing during the train ride. Sometimes there are 2 trains running and sometimes there are 1. So if you take a look and you see 2 trains running, you'll have a shorter wait time. You do get to see the cute little mini lands that are set up all around the track, but there's no captain telling you or conductor telling you what the mini lands are. So if you want to know what the little mini lands are, what the scenes are, I would suggest going on Storybook first and then going on Casey Jr. second, because then you'll know what these little mini lands are as you're riding the train around the mini lands. Next up, we're going to move to Alice in Wonderland, or Alice. Found that this one does have a high competition rate for rope drop. So my suggestion would be, if you're not interested in Rise of the Resistance, do this around 9 or 10 a.m. The wait time will be shorter than what it is at rope drop. You can also check out this ride during a parade. That will have a shorter wait time.
Play croquet. Rule 42. The queen will always win.
Right next door to Alice is the teacups. Let's check them out. No height requirement on the teacups. Makes this a family, fun, friendly ride. Also, what you should know is there's usually hardly ever a long ride unless the park is very packed. So you can come back and do teacups whenever you want. A lot of people like to check out if Alice and the Mad Hatter are on the teacups because they will actually often ride the teacups with guests. You can also choose to not spin this ride at all by holding the wheel or spin it fast. Right around the corner from Alice and the teacups is Mr. Toad's. Now this ride is a dark ride and it is a smaller car, so it will only fit 2 people. What's interesting about Mr. Toad's is that there is no height requirement, but it is a bit dark and scary at one point. So keep that in mind if you have little ones. It can be loud and it can be kind of scary. My 7-year-old did not prefer this ride. Next is the carousel. Definitely a classic at Disneyland. Sometimes you might get lucky and see the Pearly Band boarding the carousel, and they will play the music right along with you while you ride the ride. What's great about the carousel is that there's usually hardly any wait, ever. There's also no height requirement, so little ones can go on and enjoy this right along with you. Let's enjoy, and this time we get to see the band playing along. They're just so delightful. Next, we're headed to Pinocchio's. Pinocchio's is right next to the carousel, and this one also hardly has any wait. There is no height requirement, and it is inside, so it is called a dark ride. Now, it looks like there's no line at all, but usually most of the line is interior or inside the queue. So if you see nobody outside, there still could be a 10-15 minute wait, and that is actually the usual. This will be a 4-seater ride, so if you have more than 4 in your party, you will be split. Each car has room for 4 people, 2 per row.
Time for me! Hard diddly down, and exercise is fun. The closest
To me, you all belong.
Wait for me!
is Snow White. Again, the line is usually short. However, with the movie that came out recently, there has been an uptick in the line, I have noticed. Again, another 4-seater, so if you have more than 4 in your party, you will be split. Snow White is not a very scary ride, but it is a dark ride. Keep that in mind when you're planning your trip.
A poison apple for Snow White.
Hi-ho, here comes my people.
Peter Pan is next. You get your very own pirate ship that flies with Tinkerbell's pixie dust. It is a 2-seater, so if you have more than 2 in your party, you'll be expected to split. There is no height requirement on this ride, but it is highly popular. A 45-minute wait is actually quite normal, and there is no fast pass. So I suggest to do this either very first as rope drop, or you could wait to the middle of the day. I've gotten lucky when some people have lunch.
Come on, everybody, here we go!
popular ride with a height requirement of 42 inches. It's a bobsled ride, so it is very much a single rider attraction, popular because you're just single rider in your seat. So if you get there and you can find the single rider line, which is by the stroller entrance, a cast member will give you a ticket called single rider and you'll wait in the single rider line. You must be 7-year-old or older to ride the single rider, but I've done this many times and it goes very fast. In addition to that, it gets very popular later in the day. So always look out for 2 sides of the mountain running. If only one side is working, the time will be double. So that would be my tip. Look for both sides running. I personally prefer what's called the Fantasyland side, which is on the right-hand side. It is a little bit smoother. Here we have Astro Orbiter. Very much like Dumbo, but this one is side slanting. So you do have to lean forward in order to pull up on the lever. So you do need to be taller to reach the lever, I've noticed, even though there's no height requirement. Keep that in mind. There's also no fast pass. Buzz Lightyear is next. This one is a two-seater where you have your own shooter gun, which can target and you can shoot as the ride goes on, and there will be a score at the end. Kids love it. What you should know about this ride is there's no height requirement. It is a dark ride, but it's not scary, and it does have a fast pass. It doesn't really get busy early in the morning, so if you're not purchasing a fast pass, check it out before 10 a.m. After 10 a.m., it does pick up in line. It can get a longer wait. So keep that in mind if you want to check out Buzz Lightyear.
Impossible! No one can aim so precisely!
Next in Tomorrowland is Hyperspace Mountain, one of my favorites. There is a single rider line for this in the back entrance, and if you get there right at rope drop, it will only be 10-minute wait. So that is another thing people like to do is rope drop space. The height requirement is 40 inches. It is a very fast roller coaster, completely in the dark, but there's no upside down turns or anything. It's just a single track that goes very fast. It has fans moving in there, and it also has disco bulbs, so that's what gives it the effect. And then it also has a overlay of hyperspace, so that's Star Wars theme only during the Star Wars months. Otherwise, it's just regular Space Mountain. Next is Star Tours with a height requirement of 40 inches. Usually a pretty short wait, average is about 15 minutes. However, there is a lightning lane for this ride. It is a 3D ride, so they give you 3D glasses, and you sit in a seat that will just move to the left and right. Not a super crazy ride, and my kids like this one.
You don't seem to understand. I am not the captain. I am C-3PO.
1401, cleared for takeoff. Contact departure on frequency 429er.
Wait! R2-D2, I am not programmed to fly these things. Just turn us around this instant before we get into trouble. I knew it!
I want that spy!
Guys, R2, someone could get Run, Steve R2! No! Where are we now? The Wookiee planet.
Finding Nemo is next. It is a submarine where you go into a sub and then you see scenes from the movie Finding Nemo. If you're claustrophobic, this will not be a good ride for you. This ride has no fast pass, but the good thing is you can see the subs moving and see how many are working at once. There's no height requirement, which is great for this ride. There's also single seats, so once you get into the sub, it's single seats that pull down. Now, this ride does take about 20 minutes, so I don't suggest doing it immediately in the morning. Maybe a mid or late morning would be good because this ride does take a very long time. Directly next to it is the Disneyland monorail, and you're in for a treat because I'm going to show you that you can actually sit in the front of the monorail, and not a lot of people know that. The monorail is a ride that goes around the entire park, and then it goes to downtown Disney and back again. There's no height requirement, and you can actually request to sit in the front, and if the captain is willing and allows you to, you can fit up to 4 people. But you do have to ask for this, and the captain has to allow
it. To those of you who have just joined us, welcome aboard the Disneyland monorail. For your safety, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the cabin. Watch your children, and no smoking, please.
Bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los niños. Por favor, se ruega no fumar. Gracias.
We're now en route to our final stop, the Tomorrowland monorail station. Along the way, you can get a bird's-eye look at the downtown Disney district, Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, and Disney California Adventure. To the left of the monorail is the main entrance of Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. Disneyland is truly an American original. Since its opening in 1955, it has hosted hundreds of millions of guests from around the world, including presidents.
Next is Autopia, which is a car ride that can fit 2 riders. The height requirement is 32 inches, and I have to say, this is very low. You actually should be a little taller to reach the pedal. My 7-year-old is pretty tall, he's 50 inches, and he still couldn't reach the pedal. So keep that in mind if your child is planning on driving themselves. It is still a fun ride, although it is a bit slow. It does take a while, so this is about a 15-minute ride. The car fumes are something that people dislike about this ride, and also it is out in the baking sun. So if you're out in the sun, just be wary there's not much cover. It is still really fun, especially at night. I highly suggest you do check out this ride. Your trip will not be complete without a trip on the Disneyland Railroad. The railroad goes around all the lands, there's no height requirement, and there are 2 trains. The best part of the entire railroad, everybody agrees, is the prehistoric dinosaur scene. You have to check this out. Don't miss it. It's a great chance to get off of your feet and enjoy the magic of Disney. The Jungle Cruise is a large boat ride where you can fit a lot of your party. It's a very easy and slow ride that takes you across the jungle, and a captain will make funny jokes along the way. There's no height requirement, and it really can't be missed. Check it out.
They all have their trunks on. That's why you don't want to take too long in the shower. Yeah, you'll turn into an elephant. Almost like a one. No, I'm just kidding. I don't shower.
Indiana Jones is next, and this is one of those rides when you have a fast pass, you're going to go right across this bridge and beat this whole line, exterior line, which is about 25-30 minutes that you will save. So if you have a fast pass, I do suggest this. Now, there is a height requirement, 46 inches, and that is for a purpose. This is going to be the most bumpiest ride at Disneyland. Also, what's interesting is that you do have to put your bag inside a knapsack that's in the front of the car. So make sure your knapsack or your backpack can fit in a small flap. Next is Big Thunder Mountain. This is an upgrade from Gadget's coaster. It is a faster roller coaster on a railroad. It takes you through the Wild Wild West. It is a 2-seater and it does move fast with about 3 drops. In addition, it does have a fast pass. I like to rope drop this and then go on it a second time immediately after. Sometimes I'll use my fast pass and go on it 3 times. It does get very, very popular throughout the day, so the earlier you can get on Big Thunder, the better. Check it out. There is a height requirement of 40 inches, but kids can go on this and they do love it. Trust me. Give it a try. Next is the Mark Twain. This is such a great thing to do in the middle of the day. When it's hot, when your feet are tired, you're gonna go find the Mark Twain. There's no height requirement. There are a few seats. You find them in the front and you find them in the middle. But the best part about this ride is it takes a full 20 minutes. So you're gonna enjoy so many beautiful views of the Disneyland Park. It is such a classic, you can't miss it. Everybody from all ages can enjoy this ride, and you can actually take a sneak peek of Tom Sawyer's Island and all the kids and families having fun over there while you ride this beautiful steamboat. Don't miss it. If you see it pulling up, it only takes about 10 minutes to wait. I highly suggest it. Give it a try. If you have time in your schedule, you've got to do the Mark Twain. I almost forgot to mention Tiana is on this steamboat quite a lot, as is the Pearly Band. So see if you can spot them. That would be an awesome experience. You can also ride at the very top in the captain's section, but you do have to ask permission.
As we head into the remote areas of the rivers of America, you're in for a real treat. I've been navigating these parts for years now, but I never get tired of taking in the breathtaking beauty of the Columbia River. The majestic trees.
If you're looking for another sit-down attraction, Pirates is your one. No height requirement, large boat, can fit a large party. Sit in the back if you're a single or a group of two. Enjoy. Just know there's zero service down here because, fun fact, you're actually going underneath the railroad and therefore there's going to be no service. Right now in 2025, there is a lightning lane for this attraction. So usually it's a 15-minute wait, but it actually can get up to 30 minutes in the middle of the day. Haunted Mansion, another classic and favorite. There is a lightning lane for Haunted Mansion. Usually between the hours of 8 and 10 a.m., there's 0 to 30-minute wait, so it's pretty short. After that, I would suggest using Lightning Lane, which is what I'm walking through right now. It is a classic. It does have some dark moments. Even though there's no height requirement, it can be a little bit scary for the younger ones, so you'll have to gauge what your children, if you are taking them, would be for this ride. It is amazing though. It's a people mover, and the line does move quick. Moving to Bayou Country, Tiana's is the newest attraction in 2024. It is super cute. And then you realize there's a large drop. That's right, this used to be this past Splash Mountain. 40-inch height requirement does not mean don't bring a backup change of clothes. This one's gonna get you soaked, everyone, so prepare accordingly. That's all I'm going to tell you. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Wow. The Pooh ride is right around the corner. You can actually use what's called a buddy pass for this. It's a Roo pass. You'll go in the exit and use that so you don't have to wait. You do have to ask for that at the front. Enjoy.
First the wind, and now this.
Whee! This is fun!
Goodness gracious!
I'm here.
Good boy, if you're
birthday! It's time for your party, Pooh! Happy birthday!
Hooray! Happy birthday!
So we've covered that there's no height requirement on Alice, Astro, Buzz, Casey Jr., Dumbo, Nemo, Railroad, Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, Carousel, Teacups, Pooh, Runaway Railway, Mark Twain, Monorail. Also, Mr. Toad's, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Pirates, Roger Rabbit, Snow White, and Storybook. No height requirement. Use that as your judgment. There's a 32-inch requirement for Autopia, that's the car ride. And then there's a 35-inch requirement for Gadgets, that's that small little kid roller coaster. And 38 for Smuggler's Run, that's that Star Wars ride. Increasing to 40 inches requirement for Big Thunder, Space, Star Tours, Rise, and Tiana's. Some of which I agree with and some of which I don't. There is also a requirement of 42 inches for the Matterhorn. In addition to that, there is a 46 inches, the most, for Indiana Jones. Hope you enjoyed. Tune in for more.
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe.